All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. It's Tuesday morning, and I want to talk about this story. And it's going to make you angry because it's making me angry. Yesterday morning, 4 people were unalived while riding a train in Chicago on 2 trains. It was 3 black men and 1 Caucasian woman. Now, the reports is coming out that they had fell asleep on the train because it was like 5:30 in the morning, so probably they're on their way to work. Now, the thing that is bad about the story is, the story is all bad. The fact that they're protecting the identity of the shooter. See, they caught the shooter because of the transit authorities' cameras, and they tell you that it was 3 black men and a white woman that was unalived, but they're hiding the identity of the shooter. Then another story coming out of Chicago where they have 32 Venezuelans from their gang took over another apartment complex. Then there's another story about a Venezuelan unaliving a 9-year-old boy. It's upsetting for several reasons. One, the police and officials are hiding these things from the masses of people along with the media. Because why aren't people pressing to figure out what's going on? Another thing that is bothersome is I know that most people don't care until it happens to them, until it happens to their mother, their kids, their siblings. It's sad to say, since you don't care, I hope nobody cares when it does happen to you. I really do, you know, because I know if it happened to me, you wouldn't care because it's happening to all kind of other people and you don't care. So when it happens to you, I won't care because you don't care. You're not even forcing these officials to even identify and tell you what's going on in your own cities. Why are they hiding the identity of this shooter? Why aren't they telling the public about what's going on with this invasion? And why do we go on? I guess as long as we can buy Jordans or have nice cars and have things, we don't care what happens to our neighbors or other people. That's going to be the downfall of a whole lot of us. Thinking that things that affect other people won't affect you. That's going to be your downfall. And it's going to isolate you to the point to where these immigrants and these gangs can take over your communities. And then once it's finally took over, then you can live with oppression, knowing that you stood by and did nothing, and that you demanded nothing from your authorities. You didn't even want to talk about it. Sometimes I try to talk to people about these stories or whatever. They don't want to hear it because it ain't hit them yet. But when it hits them, oh, then that's when you see the emotion and the concern. But these stories coming out of Chicago and Colorado and New York are insane. You got the feminist movement and all these so-called black women. Don't y'all know that a Venezuelan unalived a black woman a few days ago for no reason? What made him even think that he could get away with it? Because he did. Because for real, y'all don't care about each other for real, not as human beings. You care about what you can get from somebody or how somebody makes you feel. But when it comes to the humanity of your community, most of you are worthless in that area. Now, this story should make you mad. When you watch this story, watch and see how the police are hiding things from you. It's going to make you upset because they already know who did the shooting. They caught him, they got all the footage. This guy went from one train to another train, taking people's lives at the Chicago Transit Authority. So they know who he is. They know about all these other things, and there is a media block while they It's almost as if they are assisting. They are assisting the invaders. This level of betrayal and treason is terrible. Well, I'm going to get into the clip, and I want you to watch this. Watch this clip, and I want you to watch everything coming out of Chicago and Colorado and New York, and then look into your environment, and you will see that it's encroaching upon where you live, and it'll be you next. This is for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act for commentary and education. Check out this story.
To Chicago for our next story. A gorgeous live now look there over the Windy City skyline. It has to do, though, with crime on this Labor Day. 4 people were fatally shot on the CTA Blue Line train this morning. For more on what happened, we're going out to our friend there at Fox 32 in Chicago, reporter Nate Rogers with the details. He joins me. Nate, thanks for being with us, especially on this Labor Day. What exactly all went down there this morning?
Yeah, Andrew, good evening to you and to your viewers at home. I tell you, truly a tragic day here in Chicago. Authorities calling this incident heinous. We have learned over the last couple of hours from multiple sources that detectives are working to determine if this was a random act by a gunman who apparently shot and killed 4 people while they were on a CTA Blue Line train here overnight. Those 4 people, we're told, were sleeping tonight. The suspected gunman is in custody.
It's a horrible tragedy that 4 people are dead on Labor Day weekend.
Multiple ambulances on scene along with law enforcement from various agencies. It happened around 5:30 a.m. 4 people shot, apparently sleeping on a Blue Line train as it was pulling into the Des Plaines Forest Park Transit Center.
This, obviously is shocking. It is uncommon, to have a mass shooting like this, especially this close to home.
Police say the victims were all passengers seated in 2 different train carts. 3 people were immediately pronounced dead. The 4th person died at a local hospital. The gunman's motive unknown.
Currently, that suspect is being held in the Forest Park Police Department. I believe it was only.
The first thing that's standing out to me is the black reporter, the black cop, and this so-called Asian police person or whatever. They telling the story without any passion or whatever, as if they don't know what's going on. But I guarantee you, by them having the story and being on the ground, they already know who the suspect is and who they caught. But they are deliberately hiding that fact, not showing his picture as if they would if he was any other American. Why are they not showing his picture? Why are they not talking about the things that are really going on, like the overtaking of buildings in Chicago, the overtaking of Humboldt Park in Chicago? Why are they hiding these type of threats and these type of dangers from the general public? Why isn't the pub? Are you that I don't know what to even call it, to where you could be an American citizen and you could be sending your kids to school and you could be going to work, watching your other fellow citizens being unalived, and you keep going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they pray as if their prayers could be heard. God never hears the prayers of a coward, the uncaring person. This is bad. This is bad. You know, you always got to say salute to the patriots, the real Americans. Everybody else, y'all almost seem like y'all predatory and y'all vermin off society because you have no real care and concern about your fellow man. Finish this, looking at this story.
One suspect.
Authorities say CTA's enhanced technology tracked the suspect after he fled from the Blue Line to a Pink Line train. Forest Park Police, CPD, the CTA, and West Suburban Major Crimes Task Force all collaborating, arresting the suspect in an hour.
I have to be at work at 7, so I would have been right on this train.
The station remained closed much of the day, police calling it an isolated incident with no threat to the public. Tanasha Baker calls the situation tragic.
How do they know that? They say it's not isolated. They say there's no other threat other than him. They got all those cameras that they used to catch him, but there's no picture that they would show to the public. Think about these things. They showed you the cameras, so they got footage of everything that this guy did. They know that he was 3 black men unalived and a white woman unalived. They seen all of that, but they won't show you his face. They keep hiding these horrific crimes, and you just go to work, send your kids out. It's almost like you are a cursed people. You are a cursed people. And your cowardice will be your very demise. Watch. You can't hide from this.
She rides the Blue Line daily.
The people that just stand out here outside, they just looking for a place to sleep. Ain't nowhere else.
And Andrew, at this hour, we're still waiting to learn the names and ages of the victims. So far, the medical examiner's office here has told us that the victims appear to be 3 black men, as well as 1 woman who is white. We also learned from authorities that a gun was recovered at the scene. The Forest Park Police continue to...
What did you just notice? This ninja told you that it was 3 black men and 1 white woman killed, but never is going to mention who the suspect is. What color is the suspect? Let's start there. What color is the shooter, please? Since you done told me that 3 black men lost their lives and 1 white woman lost their lives and they was all Americans, what color and nationality was the shooter? I want to see his face. Don't you, America? Don't you want to know something about him? Because they got to know that. If they got the bodies, they got him, they got everything, they got the gun.
investigate this situation. Charges, we're told, are pending. That is the latest here in Forest Park. Nate Rogers, Fox, Chicago.
Nate, I just got a couple of questions. You know, for our viewers who aren't familiar,
Charges are pending against who? Watch how they doing the story. Everybody, there's 3 things about a story. When, where, why, and who. So it's 4. We know it's Chicago. We know when it was. We know where it was. Why are they holding the who? Deliberately. I'm going to see if the news reporter from somewhere else asks anything about the shooter.
with the Chicago area, let's talk about the Blue Line. Let's talk about it being there in Forest Park. How far is this, say, from downtown Chicago? And normally, how busy is it? Yesterday was a holiday, so is that somewhat of a silver lining here? Maybe not as many people would be on it?
Well, yeah, the Blue Line train, this stop is the end of the line for the Blue Line here in Chicago. I'd say it's about a 20-25-minute ride from downtown Chicago. A lot of folks still travel on the Blue Line. I don't think a lot of folks were on the train today because it is a Labor Day. But I will tell you that the Blue Line here in Chicago is one of the train lines that tends to see a lot of crime. In fact, the mayor of Forest Park, as well as the police chief, says that they've received an enormous amount of calls at this particular stop because there's a lot of crime activity in terms of overdoses and other criminal activity that they described to reporters earlier today. But the other thing that's, a lot of folks need to know, there are a lot of homeless people that tend to sleep on the trains late at night and overnight. The Blue Line is one of the trains here that tends to run 24/7, as are many bus lines. And so when we were speaking with a lot of folks today, they shared with us that they tend to see homeless folk on the train because many of them feel as if they don't have a place to go. So certainly just a very tragic situation here. That's why even at this hour, normally the medical examiner's office, they by now would have given us names and even like addresses or even ages. But as of right now, we're still working to figure out who those relatives even are.
All right. Nate Rogers, as always, thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
Nate Rogers, that reporter is a piece of crap. He's a crappy reporter. He keep telling you that they want to figure out who the relatives and who the victims were, whereas you have a living suspect in your custody with the gun, with the cameras. Why is that information not put out? Why are you holding back on the story, but you still tell the public that they're safe and it's an isolated incident? Why are people in outrage about them taking over another apartment building in Chicago? This is a sad situation because really the lack of unity is terrible. You to the point to where if you do try to defend some people, you will be defending cowards who wouldn't defend you. You put your life on the line trying to help another American who would gladly walk away and turn a blind eye to something happen to you. So at this point, it's almost like we deserve what we're finna get because of the cognitive dissonance when it comes to other people, other citizens. You know, 4 people that fell asleep on the train, 5:30 in the morning. Before that, another day, a 9-year-old boy, overtaking of an apartment complex in Chicago, just like in Colorado. Well, this is something for you guys to think about. Signing to you out of Detroit. This is Detroit's HPTV. Keep your head on the swivel. Support the nonprofit Detroit's Black Thought and Action Collective. The Cash App is in the description. Man, this is horrible. And the horrible part is the lack of concern, the lack of urgency, the lack of rallying the troops to figure out how you will gain control over this situation. See, with me, I'm fit. No one's really going to run up on me. And I can't defend myself and know how to. But you defenseless ones, you ones on canes and you ones that need help, y'all should be blowing the phone up trying to figure out what's going on and trying to get y'all some help. Or do y'all want to be like sheep to the slaughter? Salute to all patriots. Signing to you out of Detroit. Peace.